Hi, yeah, so it's another day to talk about visibility. Yeah, so in the last video, we spoke about I told you about myself and um, how I learned what visibility means, and yeah, we also talked about examples of what visibility should be like and how it should happen. So today I want to talk about steps. So I split it into three. I got a lot of feedback from the video actually, and most of the comments were "This is this is helpful," and then someone said, "I didn't realize I needed this," although that was in my DM, not in public. Okay, so I then went to do a three parts breakdown of um, going from not being visible to being visible. So we're going to be having three videos where in each of them I would be breaking down different parts of the visibility journey. And for this video, we're just going to go through changing your mind, switching to the visibility mindset, or having the mindset of visibility, having the thought process of wanting to be visible. I'm hoping that I can keep this as short as possible, so let's say in 5 minutes or max in 10 minutes we should be done. Alright, so how do you attain visibility as an individual? Visibility, like we discussed, is the state of being seen, being recognized. It could be as a person, or it could be your work, or it could be your character, or your preferences, right? How do we change from being invisible to being visible? Step one is changing your mindset. Your thought process has to change. So, take for example, previously I used to think if I talk about my achievements, or if I talk about my accomplishments, if I talk about my work, it's going to seem like I'm showing off. As a Christian, say pride goeth before fall. Yeah, that's what my Bible taught me, and I misinterpreted me talking about my accomplishment at work and my abilities. I thought me talking about them was pride. It's not pride. If you can do it, you can do it. There's no pride there. So yeah, if you are among those people that used to think, oh, I want my work to speak for me, or if I'm talking about my work, it will seem like I'm being proud, or stuff like that. If you're one of those people that think like that, then you have to join me in changing from thinking that way to a different thought process. Now, what thought process are we going to work with going forward? We're going to work with, I wrote it down here, so I'm just going to read it out for you. The thought process we'll be working with now is, if I don't communicate my process and results, I am withholding crucial information from my team, my manager, and my organization. And it is my responsibility to keep my stakeholders informed. So we're going from speaking about my achievements and what I can do might seem like showing off, to I owe it a corporate responsibility to keep my team, my manager, my organization informed about the status of what I'm doing. And if I don't inform them, then I'm withholding crucial information basically. So we're going from point A, seeing it as pride or show off, to seeing it as giving crucial information to stakeholders. Stakeholders could be your teammates, your interns, whoever it is. Anybody you're working with basically is the stakeholder I'm referring to here. So switching from talking about my work is show off to talking about my work is important because I need to keep my stakeholders informed. That's step one. Changing your thought process. Now, why are we doing this? Because now we need to understand that our value, the value of our work, the value of our input is not visible, is not obvious to other people, right? You can be doing a million things. You can be the one in charge of making sure that every single person that comes into the hospital does not spend more than 5 minutes on the line before they get attended to. You can be the best performing customer experience person at GT Bank. Yeah, those guys have very annoying customer experience people. I think I prefer Providos. But anyways, you can be that fast, that good at what you do, but it's not obvious to other people because while you're attending to 500 issues per day, right, every other person is attending to something. So they really cannot see or know what you are doing except you tell them, right? Except you make it obvious. They cannot connect the dots on your contribution. They cannot see. They only see the final result, right? And even though they see the final result, they don't know how many late nights you had to pull. They don't know how many thoughts you had to go through. They don't know how many options you had to review and try before you came up with that final solution. So that we need to all understand. I'm talking to my fellow invisible people now, right? Or my fellow visibility journey members, right? We need to all understand that the end produce or the end product of our work is what is seen by everyone, right? The steps we took to get to that result is not obvious to anybody, and that understanding that nobody knows what we had to go through to get what we did done is very important, because when you know that every other person is busy and focused on their own work, right? Your CEO is busy, your team lead is busy, your team member is busy, your cleaner is busy. The only person that sees how much work you put into what you do is yourself, right? If you had to do a research, if you had to burn the ninth candle, you are the only one that knows. I mean, for example, today in school, one of the lecturers, a professor, was saying that he had certain issues reviewing a process at this manufacturing plant he was working with, and he had to do 2 months straight. Imagine having to go back home every night for 2 months, going through the same issues and reviewing different ways to best solve that same issue, and then it's after 2 months you finally get the result you're looking for, and then you just quietly do it and nobody knows that you went through this entire process, and then it just quite casually happens and everything's resolved and it just passes like that. I mean, you should accept your accolades. You did not kill somebody, so accept your accolades. So yeah, you need to understand that other people are busy and they are focused on their own work, and they don't see how much energy you put into your own work. So it is now your responsibility to help them see that you are doing certain things out of the ordinary to get these things done, right? Now, once you have understood, or once we have now understood, or I have understood now, so I'm passing it on to you, that you have now understood that your work is not, your value is not obvious to other people. It's a fact. Accepted. Now we need to adopt a working out loud mentality. Working out loud does not necessarily mean that hello everybody, I'm opening the door now, oh, you can see me, oh. And then 5 minutes later, hello everybody, I just ran the test script, oh, it has failed, oh. I've told the developer that I should go and fix it. Nah, that's just dramatic. So working out loud means that you're sharing your progress. Take for example, sorry, most of my examples are just going to be engineering examples because I'm a backend engineer myself, and I I don't really know anything else outside engineering except, yeah, I know a little bit of finance. Okay, take for example, you are a financial analyst and you're a portfolio manager, and you are trying to build a new product for your clientele, right? And you're looking at, okay, I want this product to range from high risk to low risk, and I want to balance it such that we have 30% on each side on the average, and then the high risk cannot take out the profit from the low risk 100% if in the chance that it goes wrong, right? So you probably spent like 2 weeks doing that research, putting the products together. Now, probably on day 3, 2 weeks is like 14 days, right? So on day 3, you want to share a progress report with your line manager or your team member so that they know what you're doing, they know the point you're at, and they know how much work you're putting into getting to the end goal, right? It would feel more like you're trying to collaborate. So take for example, I want to share a progress report with my team lead about a new product or a new feature I'm building. I can simply go to him and say, hi boss, please. So I'm working on transfer API for example, but I'm having issue with this transaction query status API, right? Should I do it like this or like this? This is day 3, right? You've done day 1, day 2, day 3. So at day 3, you've done substantial amount of work, right? It's not like you didn't do anything and then you're just coming to come and say, look at what now. You should have put in the work first, and then you're going to say, think with me, or let me walk you through my thought process on this. Now, it imprints a mental picture of what you're doing, a very subtle image of what you're doing in the mind of that team lead or that colleague, right? And then when you come back in day 7, and then you're saying, thanks for the other day, I was able to complete it, but now I have a new challenge that I'm thinking, I have 2 options though. I want to know if I should take option A or option B. Now, by day 10, when you are probably giving a progress report in public, right? Your manager already has a full idea of how far you've gone, what you've had to go through, the decisions you've had to make in the process, and where you're at right now. So there's nobody, he's not looking at you like, this thing that this person did is somehow. No. He already has an idea of the process you went through, so by default you're already visible. Like that. It's that simple. You're already visible. So it simply means that by trying to collaborate more, you can achieve visibility to an extent, right? Collaboration does not necessarily mean you need their opinion all the time. It just means you're trying to just follow me reason this thing. It's not like I'm going to do what I'm asking you at the end of the day, but I just need your opinion on it. Okay, I have 2 options. I already know that one of the 2 options is not the good one, right? But I'm still just going to bring it to you to say, boss, help me look this thing. I'm thinking option A, option B, although I'm more drawn to option B because option B seems like the viable option. And then he's going to be like, I think you're right, so you can go ahead with option B. And then you've gone far. I'm like, boss, nah, I never sleep for 2 days. Little, you're chipping in okay, just now you've chipped in that you have 2 options, and then you think option B is better, then he's already looking at this guy is pretty smart, and then that I never sleep for 2 days. He'll be like, this guy is working hard though. Now, you didn't have to do anything extra. right? All you just had to do was talk about what you were doing at the time and what challenge you're facing and how far you've had to go to get to this point. Now, that is working out loud. You're not screaming in anybody's face. You're just quietly passing your message across to the important party. I mean, it could be just like an intern or someone in the same level with you, right? It's just that everybody there knows, or one or two people get to work through certain things with you, and then they know how much work you're putting. So when certain things go wrong, these guys can simply just come up and be like, "Ah, no, he reached out to me so day about this certain thing, and I think that we should give him the benefit of doubt to complete what he's working on because I was part of the decision process and I know what he's doing," right? But if you have not spoken with anybody and then you're just working straight for like 10 days and then something goes wrong, everybody will be looking at you like, I'm saying this because it is what has happened to me, right? It's what I've gone. So it's a me sharing the personal experience that I learned from, and then I'm also getting to find out from a professional. Like, I mean, this guy is a professor in this thing, so learning from him pointed me that, okay, actually, and then I've had friends tell me that, oh, guy, you need to be more open about what you're doing with certain kind of people, so that if there's anything that they need to chip in or something, so you won't have to go and build and then come back and start from the beginning. So these things are something I've gone through. So when you try to carry your stakeholders, your colleagues, your team members, your friends along, little details, you don't have to go deeply into details about what you're doing, right? But like just little details about what you're doing and how much you've had to do to get to that point, then you're working out loud. Now the last part, which is the most important in this mindset shift thing, is you need to believe that that being visible creates more opportunities for you. Or rather, we need to believe that being visible creates more opportunities for us. And I'm serious, because like it creates a lot of opportunities. Bro, you got that big. So think about it this way, right? I'm a software engineer. I majorly write Java backend, APIs and all that, DB, Linux, yada. Now, the fact that I am able to come out to say, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. I went to check up this, I went to check up that, and I think this is the best option. My team lead is already looking at me like, this guy looks like somebody that if we have a new project that we want to work on, I should just hand it over to him and he would be able to come up with something. But if you're the type that you're supposed to do something on Tuesday, you're supposed to do something for 10 days, right? And by day 7, nobody knows what exactly is going on. Nobody has an idea of the details of what you are working on. It's going to be difficult for your team lead to have a new project and then he will call you. No. Because he doesn't even know what you're doing in the first place. He doesn't know how you're doing what you're doing. He doesn't know the effort you're putting into what you're doing. But when he has an idea of the efforts, or she have an idea of the effort you're putting into what you're doing, it's easy for them to just remember you when there's a new role or there's a promotion available. I mean, if there's space for promotion and your team lead is asked, oh, who would you recommend for this promotion? The first person he or she, I mean, let's even bring it home. Take for example, I am my own team lead, right? And then, or I am a team lead, and then there's a space for a promotion, right? The person I will remember first is the person that always comes to me with one or two options, and they are considering one which they feel is the best variable, and even if I think the next option will be better, then we have a quick discussion, and then they go back and then they get it done, and then they come back to me and be like, oh, I've done that stuff the other day, it worked fine, and I'm now in a different stage entirely about the implementation. It would be easy for me to remember that person than for me to remember the person that only shows up 9 a.m. during stand-up and says, hi guys, yesterday I worked on this, today I'll be working on this, and then they disappear. until the next day again, and then 2 weeks down the line, they are not even, there's no personal communication between these guys, this person and anybody in the team. This person is always working on his own, is always working quietly. Fine, he does a whole lot, but because there is no openness, is it openness I'll call it now? Because there's no subtle communication of what he's doing and how he's doing it and the kind of stress he's going through getting it done, I won't really know that this person is putting in the work. I'm going to give an example of a friend of mine. Is this very badass quality assurance guy, right? And this guy would work 9 to 5, 5 to 9, and still this guy works like crazy, right? But because he's in the center of everything, right, he finds a way to, even though he's doing a lot, he will still come out to say, this is what we're doing, but this is how I think we should be doing it. And I'm also thinking that if we can try to add this and this, then it will get better. Small like that, right? Staff of the year, sharp. Because, like, why not? If not, he's doing the work. He's also visible while doing the work, so why not? So, I feel like for us that we're like the type that will say, I want my work to speak for me, and then we'll just keep working in the background, and then we don't talk, we don't share ideas, we just find it comfortable working in our own small corner, just getting the work done, and collecting our salary. Well, they feel sack you. I'm sorry, I just had to say that in pidgin, but it's the reality, because, like, if no one sees the effort and the amount of time and energy you put into your work, it's very easy for them to talk down what you're doing. It's very easy for them to look down on what you're doing, right? And you could be losing out from a lot of opportunities. So I hope we get the message. We need to first change our mindset, how we see visibility. And it's basically believing that you owe your stakeholders, your team, your friends, you owe them a responsibility to keep them informed about everything you're doing. It doesn't have to be 100% details, right? It could just be like 10 or 20% details. Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is how far I've gone. This is the challenge I'm having. This is how I'm thinking I can just get it done faster. Well, man, I've not been able to sleep well for the past 2 days. Like, I've been doing like 3-4 a.m.s to get this thing done, and I'm just hoping that it works out by tomorrow, so I can move on to the next one. But I'm sure that if I try it out by tomorrow, it should work. And then 2 days later or 3 days later, you come back and be like, boss, now that's a little work though, but it nearly wounded me. I'm good though, I'm good now, and I think it actually taught me a new thing. I think for this other thing we're working on, we should try one of these things, and then you just go away. Finish, subtle, you're good. You don't have to start bribing anybody, and I think it also applies to every work environment. Even if you're in a work environment where they are really biased, or there's some form of stereotype or whatever it is, you can still apply the same strategy. In the next video, we'll talk about like habits, or like all these little things you can do step by step, and then we'll actually find examples. I'll try to get some examples, talk to some guys that have done these things, and then I'll share their point of view subtly, like I did my friends just now. Yeah, so another 24 minutes video. Oh my god. Well, if you've stayed till now, you're an MVP. You can actually share with your friends, and say thank you to everyone that watched the last video and is watching this right now. So we've come to the end of the Jesus. I don't know how to end this YouTube video today. Well, we've come to the end of this video. See you on the next one. By the way, I've had to download my TikTok, Instagram, and and what's the other one? Twitter back, because I now have to like drop the links to these videos everywhere so that more people can get to see it, because it turns out that it's valuable stuff I was talking about and I did not realize it until yesterday and 2 days ago. So I hope more people get to see this, especially people like me who had the visibility problem, and I hope it helps us get better at what we do and how we do it, and also helps us get seen so that we can get that promotion, get more money, buy the fancy cars you want and stuff like that. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.